So now everything from this point is now recorded. I can always edit that little portion out, so that's no problemo. And we are going. Let me hit this in three, two, one.
Welcome to Just One Question with your host, Lion Flood. This podcast is brought to you by The Minority Report, where our goal is to inspire, educate, and empower you with cultural knowledge. We'll also have conversations dealing with social justice, mental health, and the all-around truth. So if you're bold enough to hear the truth, then you're listening to the right podcast. Let's find out what that one question is with your host, Lion Flood.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for coming back to another episode of Just One Question, the podcast that is dedicated to you, the listeners, because without you, I'd probably be talking to myself. And as my wife continuously tells me, I might like that a little too much. So thank you all for being here. We've got a very special guest here today. His name is Gareth. I had to use the TH, Gareth. Knock. Give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Gareth, thank you so much for being here, sir. Let's start off first by you introducing yourselves to the audience and the listeners because everyone can read a bio. I like to hear from the person themselves a little introduction.
Yeah, I'd be honored to, and thank you for having me on. Thanks for the invite. I'm excited for the conversation. So a little bit about me. I'm a health and fitness professional. I have been for the past 2 decades, and that's kind of my career. And with 2 decades of being in the industry, you get to do so much and experience so many things. But I love that you wanted me to do this introduction and talk a little bit about who I am, because that is kind of my title and what I do. Like, I'm a business owner, and I experience the health and fitness industry through the eyes of an entrepreneur. However, I'm also, a flawed human being. I have my gaps with my health and fitness, and I look to support others through that understanding. I'm also a husband and a devoted dad to a 5-year old. And she really, truly kind of lights up my world and is the reason why I do a lot of what I do in my life over the past 5 years. That's kind of me. I mean, look, I'm an entrepreneur. I run a business. It's fun. It's my passion. I'm so grateful to be on this planet and know what my purpose is and get to live that every day. And I hope to share a little bit of that knowledge with everyone today.
That is so amazing, and I sincerely appreciate that. And one of the reasons I really wanted you to come on and talk is within my research and finding someone to reach out for what the topic we're going to be talking about, ladies and gentlemen, which is fitness and health, but looking at it in a different way. Is I love the fact that you're, like you said, you're a family gentleman, dedicated, and to me, that is like my thing. Anyone who tell you me, if they were to give you a description, they're gonna say he loves his family, right? Anything I can do to work towards giving my 8-year old, I have an 8-year old son, a better life, better education. I am striving for it, and that really matters to me. And just a little short thing, what you said just now, that touched me as well. And I say this at the end of my podcast, so listeners, you're getting a little preview of what's usually being said. I always say live while you're alive. And for me, that means simply that we get in a rut, we get stuck, we get work, weekend, we do fishing or whatever, but we're not living. And I remember when I ventured to Europe a while ago, one of the concepts I took away is that people, and I might say this saying wrong, but they live to eat rather than eat to live. Right? They want to savor the food. They want to savor life. They sit down and take a few moments. But, anyways, I digress. Let's get back into what you do, sir. Fitness coach expert, and I'm told that like close to 90% of what you do is online. And I think that's very interesting because so many people are so busy in life. But if they can find something online where they may not be able to go to a gym at a moment or be in the comfort of their home, it could be a little bit better. So, what made you come up with that? Not that I directly had an idea, but what made you go in that route?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really great question. And it'll be no surprise for everyone to hear that COVID played a massive part in this. The world of health and fitness got hit really hard in Canada. And, we had big closures. And I'd worked in corporate health and fitness as well as running my own personal training businesses for many, many years. And that got hit really hard. And I realized that there were other ways to share my passion. There were other ways for me to continue to help other people. And, we inadvertently kind of went online because as everybody did. But what I really started to notice was that it it started to become not just an alternative, a temporary alternative. And this is how many people saw it. Many people was like, oh, I'll do my workouts on Zoom and I'll FaceTime my trainer. And it was temporary until maybe the gyms reopened and everything got going in the industry again. But what I started to realize with myself and my wife, who co founded the business, was this is actually a really unique experience. And a lot of our people that are staying with us, even when the world's reopened, is people wanted that convenience. They wanted to be able to jump up from their desk at home, hit a 30-minute workout at lunchtime, or jump into a meditation session or a yoga class, and then just go back to work. Or they were able to get that 6:30 a.m. workout in with us before their kids woke up and before this breakfast happened and the school run happened. And we really found that we were talking to people like us, busy parents, right? People that wanted to be there for their kids. They didn't want to be away maybe for 2 hours driving to the gym, getting ready, then doing the workout and then showering and then coming home and just maybe losing that opportunity to prioritize health and fitness. And we just saw this gap in the market that, we were able to just utilize that to build our business and serve those people that were like us, busy and were just trying to fit stuff in and prioritize their health and fitness.
And it's such a thing where they say, "Oh man, I'm like getting my quotes not right today," but we push through it. They say, something is the mother of necessity, or something, I can't think of it. But basically, what I'm saying is that COVID hit and it forced us to
Yeah.
rethink things, right? And like I talked to some of my listeners earlier today, and I was talking about, well, what would we do if we weren't taught how to do something, right? So, and that's kind of what happened. COVID hit us, and we're like, well, we weren't taught for this. We weren't expecting a pandemic or whatever. But how do we, redefine, rebrand our business, take it in a different way? And now that that happened, and you guys are working on that online space, and you just said it. Someone's at work and they got 30 minutes. It's a workout in their pocket, kind of, right? Maybe they're just walking past a park and they see one of your instructional videos, and they want to join in. They can just say, you know what, let's just sit at this park with a blanket or something and work out here. And I think that's such a great thing. So I also heard, and you can brag a little bit about this, that you were voted number one for the virtual training, right? And so how did that come about, and what space did that take you into?
Yeah, I mean that kind of came about because when March 2020, not only did we start to look at different options, the world was changing. We also moved to a new town, and that was kind of part of just embedding ourselves in the community locally and wanting to know what was going on. We found out about these incredible awards they ran locally and how businesses could be nominated and put forward. So we were very fortunate to be nominated for a couple of different awards, and then we ended up winning that award for best virtual training. And this just came about from our members wanting to support what we were doing. And at the time we were still new to the area. We were building a network and a community locally. So what it really helped us do as a business was start to connect to the local community, to start to get new members and get connected to other busy parents. And our town is very much young parents, young kids. So it opened up an opportunity for us to build community, and that's also led to us now with COVID restrictions being reduced right back down, and we're pretty much back to normal with in person as we started to run some in person training as well again. We have a studio space that we do some work out of as well locally. So yeah, that's kind of where it took us, and being nominated for that award and having people support us just raised the awareness locally, and it's helped us just create another branch to our business.
Yes, and listening to what you're saying and hearing these words come out, I'm almost picturing in my mind, like you're targeting, and it may not be, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but it may not be just only, but you're targeting parents who are busy, and you're trying to work to help them find ways to eat better and feel better about themselves, and that busy parent that's on the move, right? And the absolute thing I love about that is we as humans, we're not given a manual on how to do things, right? So we're not, so here's a book, step one when we first start. And resources like yours absolutely help someone who's sitting in their vehicle right now, walking and thinking to themselves, you know what, I need to do better. I just don't know how. I need to work out. I need to eat better. I just don't know how, right? And for those people who are thinking that and they want to reach out to you, what are some ways they can find you? What is something that you can just give them a little quick tip to say, here's just a little nugget, but I want you to come talk to me so you can get some more?
Yeah, and thank you for that opportunity. I think what I would say is, yeah, following off of your point is we want to feel great as parents, and it's often hard because what happens is your priorities shift. And this is what I found in my life, and what my wife found was that we shift our priorities, and it's so important for us to get our kids in the right activities, put them in a good school, make sure they eat a healthy meal, make sure they're, maybe limiting the amount of junk food they have in their diet, right, and trying to find balance. And we're so committed to that. And what I'll say to anyone listening now is the way you do a better job of that as a parent is when you prioritize yourself as well. So, and
Mm.
prioritizing yourself is where you start. There is absolutely thousands. I mean, to give you an idea, there's 375,000 active fitness apps right now. We're one of those. So I'm not going to tell you we're the only way, but what I will tell you is we're coming from a place of experience, and we can support you in that journey of showing up as the best version of yourself, in your life, and prioritizing yourself. So you're eating well, performing well, looking and feeling great. And that's going to follow through to your kids. So you're going to be able to show up as a better parent when you can prioritize and put yourself first. So, start that journey as soon as possible.
That is hitting home so much because I'm listening and I'm first thinking about back into my childhood and now with my son, right? I hear a lot of times parents who are saying, I want to give my kids everything that I didn't have when I was growing up. And for me, I believe a little bit different. I say, I want to teach my kids everything that I didn't learn. And for an example, when I was a kid, I remember coming home from school. Dad, can I get a snack? There's some chips. There's a piece of cake or something, right? As a kid, you don't know. So my childhood, my adulthood, that's all I wanted to do. And now I work really um, deliberately for when my son comes home. Dad, can I get a snack? Hey, there's a fruit. There's a banana. There's, trying to work to teach him what I didn't, what I was not taught. And I love that. And that goes into something I was thinking differently, right? There, different exercises for different people. And so I'm assuming that maybe not a direct customization, but if you have four people that message you and say, "Hey, I would love to learn from your program and let's figure something out." They're four different people. You can customize or work with them for anyone who's listening and say, "You know what? That just might not be for me. I'm an older person, or my knees have been hurt." Can you kind of work with people like that?
Yeah, that's a really great question because, as I said, there may be something more suited to what you're looking for. So if you do have some, if there's any limitations that you see within your ability to move, or you have some, just a certain community or a certain, you know, environment that you like to be in, then yeah, there might be something best suited. But what I will say about the way we operate is myself and all of our coaches are all, decade plus experiences of work with many different fields of people. So there is a lot of opportunity there. And here's the thing, although our target market is busy parents that want to move more, want to feel great, is our membership ranges from people in their mid 20s to people in their 70s. So although we're looking at busy parents, we've also got these people that are maybe going to become parents if they want, or maybe not. And we've also got people that are grandparents now, right? So it although we niche down, and this is actually a good business tip for anyone listening, is although you pick that niche and you focus in on it, other people will arrive anyway, just because you're being authentic and you're providing a service authentically to people, that other people just turn up. And yeah, I'm a big believer that we don't need necessarily something that's structured to a beginner or someone with a limitation. If the skills of the coach are there, then you're able to be in that environment with others. And this is where our platform is quite unique, in that we offer live interactive training. So when people come on our sessions, instead of just thinking your regular YouTube workout video where you search 20-minute hit workout, right? And get fit quick, someone puts a video on it and it's just somebody pre-recorded doing a workout that you follow along. Our sessions aren't set like that. Our sessions are literally live. We have a coach available that can see you and you can see them. And there's interaction via, that you can use the chat box, you can use the microphone setting, and you can interact and say, hey, this is bugging my knee today. What can I do as a variation? How do I modify this so I can be successful without maybe the impact? Or another one that comes up a lot that people don't think about is I live in a condo and I can't jump because of the noise, because the people below me. How do I modify this for less noise? And all these things are available via that interaction. So we provide something that's unique and isn't very commonplace in the world of virtual fitness.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. You got just a little extra tidbit. You thought you were coming to hear just fitness, right? Gareth dropping the bombs on you, even the business tips as well, right? And that is such a great point that you just spoke about, in which you said some people live in a condo, or they maybe in a tighter environment in which they aren't able to jump and move. But and I think it varies a little bit. And you just hit it when you said your program is live, because so many times I have tried looking at a video and seeing just I can pause it. And I think for me, there are some people out there who are like me who think, well, I can just put it off till next week because I can pause it. I can come back to it. Where with your, contract, your business concept is I'm live, I'm here. It's like being at a gym if you don't work out today and work out right now. So it's kind of a way that pushes people. And I think that goes into that biggest, I guess I can say, biggest misconception I'll say for health and fitness, right? It has to be structured one way. Exercise is the best way to lose calories, and you're telling people that no, there's other ways. There's more than one way to do it. What are some tips you could give someone to start off right now to say, hey, you know what? If you're sitting at home, get up, walk in place 20 times or something, do 10 push-ups just to start. Moderation. What are some tips you can throw out there?
Yeah, a couple of things. I think if you're looking at, how do I get started? Maybe you're just, you're deconditioned, or there's that fear around exercise. And let's be clear, the fitness industry has not done a great job at empowering people with the messaging that's out there. We felt trapped for many years of, promoting that, it was all about losing weight, or it was all about you have to work really, really hard all the time. It has to be intense. It doesn't have to be that. It can be simple. And I'll tell you, one thing I talk a lot about, and I talk about this on our podcast and in our messaging and our marketing, is the most underrated form of exercise is walking. Now, this doesn't tell you, and you'll know this is an authentic thing to say because it doesn't actually sell our business whatsoever. Because you can just go out and walk, and it's the most underrated thing for health. And I will tell you now, mentally, physically, emotionally, it's the thing that got me in the best shape of my life. All of those areas, right? Mentally, emotionally, physically. And it was just getting out there and walking and spending time with nature, getting sunlight, getting fresh air. So it doesn't have to be a big cost investment. It doesn't have to be intense. It doesn't have to be to lose weight or the amount of calories you burn. It can be just for your general well-being, and the crossover is huge. So my advice would be walk as much as you can. Park a few blocks away from the office, maybe walk to the train station rather than driving your car. Maybe you walk your kids and drop them off at school, and there we go again on the being a role model, right? And showing kids that we can be active and it can be part of our lives. So that would, I guess, be my kind of number one tip. It can be scary, it can be intimidating, but start small, and doing something is better than doing nothing. And it can just be really simple. And hey, if you want a bit more than that, there's plenty of opportunities to do that with the Knock Academy or with whoever, a gym environment, local community center, whatever it is.
Yes, there you go. And everything you're saying, it hits me right in the feelers because, and for all my listeners, you know me, I do nothing except being authentic. I love myself. I tell you, I'm gonna make mistakes, right? Because I'm human. I don't pretend to be perfect. And when you're saying those things, I'm like, oh, those are little things I do. I work twice a week to walk with my son to school to show him. So, and it's such a bonding experience even then because we have those little talks that we don't have when we're driving in a vehicle. We've got a little longer time to get to school, and he's telling me all the things that happened yesterday with him and his crush or whatever, that he didn't tell me in the car, in the vehicle. So it really bodes well. And ladies and gentlemen, I encourage you to go to Garrett's website or go to his Instagram, whatever, because I love someone who values their family. And all across his page, you can see everything working with him and his family and little things that he's talking about. And that's something that really, really absolutely means something to me. But you said something there, and I want you to touch on this because, as my listeners know, I am a win-win mentality. If I'm talking to someone, I want you to tell your goals, tell your wins, your accomplishments, tell your podcast. I don't care. I don't think, well, you're just listening to my podcast only and don't go listen to anyone else. No, if there's information you're giving out that could help one person, then it works for me, right? So I want people to, if they're interested in listening to you and then coming to some of your live sessions online, what's the name of your podcast? Where can they find you? Where can listeners and people watch you at or listen to you?
Yeah, so you can find the show on our website. We've got a direct link there where you can listen and download. And you can also find it on all podcast platforms. If you're a podcast listener, you'll have your preferred version there. We also have a lot of our episodes on YouTube as well. And you're just going to search for Knock Knock, spelt the same as my last name, which is Nock. Knock Knock. Who's there? Probably one of my all-time great achievements in life was coming up with the name of the podcast and using that play on words. I like it. I think it's funny. So if you like that, if you like that, we've got a bit of a quirky title, then come and listen. What do we talk about? Health and fitness advice. We talk about, ways that you can, we have busy parents that run businesses, busy parents that are athletes. We have people that, have come from an environment of working with kids. We have all different types of guests, but our real signature part of the show is we actually have our Knock Academy members come on and tell their fitness journey and their fitness stories. So rather than having the typical, everyone's seen these, the before and after pictures, this is my client when they came to me and this is my client now, is I have a problem with that because it only paints one perspective of that person and what they've achieved. So we like to get our members on and tell their story. They tell where they started, their influences in exercise. We have a 45-minute chat all about their struggles and their wins, and they talk about their experience with us at the Knock Academy. So it acts as a bit of a testimonial for the business, but it also helps people listening resonate with the kind of people that are in our academy and the people that work out with us every day.
Oh, I'm excited. I just can't even tell you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to read you one little excerpt from of Gareth's Instagram that I saw. And it says, as most things are in life, it's a work in progress. And I will keep celebrating every step. I absolutely love it. I tell you all the time, celebrate any little thing. I don't care what it is, right? If it makes you feel good, don't worry about what the next person is saying. And you're so right when I see those, here's how they started and here's how they are now. I'm like, yeah, but there was a journey in between. So I love the authenticity of what you're bringing. So, any last final words to tell people before we get ready to wrap things up? Any last thing you want to just kind of lead them with, so that's the last thought in their mind?
Yeah, I'd love to, and I have something that is so important to me, and it's about bravery. When If you're listening today, you're struggling with your health and fitness, you're thinking of ways I can be active, I can be a better role model, I can prioritize my health and fitness. Is this a scary concept? And when we don't have all the information and we don't have all the answers, we have to ask for help. But asking for help can be scary. There can be a lot of fear involved. And then the commitment that comes with that, signing up for a program, getting started with a trainer, joining a gym, whatever that looks like. But here's something that I'll leave you with, and let this kind of sink into your brain and let it kind of marinate in there a little bit. Bravery isn't the absence of fear, it's taking action in spite of the fear.
Woo! Listen here, ladies and
Thank you for
gentlemen.
listening
I've
to
got to
Just
tell you
One
something
Question. I
else.
know you enjoy the show
Hold on
because you
one
made it
second.
this.
Okay, there we go. I was so excited I was pressing the wrong buttons. Let me tell you, I love it. I love it. I do. I get excited. People will tell you all the time. I have sort of a script and whatever, but I veer from it every single time when I'm talking to someone because I am true to who I am. I make mistakes just like just now, and that will not be edited out. I'm telling you, my listeners know it is what I am, and I bring you who I am. So thank you for those last words. Hold on for me for 1 second, Gareth. I'll go ahead and do a little housekeeping and get things ready to roll. And I'll be right back with you. Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning into another episode of Just One Question. I absolutely love you all being here and working to bring you this knowledge that can help you out in any way. I ask for you to continue working out here during these times right now that are hard. And remember, as I always say, keep living while you are alive.
Thank you for listening to Just One Question. I know you enjoyed the show because you made it this far. If you want to hear more, subscribe, share, and don't forget to give us a 5-star review. Now, what's your one question?